This is LeetCode number 1, choose some. It's one of the most popular coding interview questions on the web and one of the most popular questions on LeetCode. Given an array of integers, the array is called nums, and an integer called targets, we have to return the two index values, the two indices corresponding to the two numbers in the array such that they add up to targets. So we can assume that each input has exactly one solution, and we may not use the same element twice. So we can't reuse a value and add it to itself to get the target number unless it appears multiple times. We can return the answer in any order. So we need to return two values in a vector. An example is here, 2, 7, 11, 15. The target is 9. We know that 7 plus 2 here equals 9. So the number 2 is index 0 and number 7 is index 1. So the values that we have to return in a different array are 0 and 1. Here, 3, 2, 4, target is 6. We can do 2 plus 4 to get 6. 2 is index 1 and 4 is index 2. So we have to return the values 1 and 2. Here we have 3 and 3 and the target is 6. So the two values here are as the indices 0 and 1. So here is my solution. We're going to use the HashMap approach. In C++, we use an unordered map, which is very fast. The keys here inside of the map are going to be integers, and the values are also going to be integers. Int here corresponds to the index for the key, and every key inside of this map is going to correspond to a value inside of the array. How we associate them is very simple. You're going to see this inside of the for loop. So I need to create my two integer values for my indices. These are the two values I'm going to return in a vector. Now we have this for loop. We need to iterate through the vector, this input vector, from start to finish. And at every iteration, we're going to ask ourselves this question. Is there another value in the map that we've already saved, which amounts to the target when it's added to the current value from the vector in this iteration? So to do that, I create an iterator that matches the type of my map here. The type of my map is an unordered map where the keys are integers, the values are integers, and I want to have an iterator for that map. I'm calling my iterator its or it. Now this iterator is going to point to the value set by the find function here. So here inside of my map M, I'm calling the find function, and what I'm trying to find inside of my map is a key that is equal to this, the target minus the current value inside of my vector in this iteration. If I find it, then this iterator is going to point to the key value pair that meets these requirements. So I'm going to be able to access the values like this. The first index is going to be the index associated to the other value, the other integer in here. And the second index value is going to be I, the current iteration that we're at, because I is 0 based. And if we loop through our vector from start to finish, I is going to point to every element inside of the vector, index by index. So wherever we are at currently is going to be the index for our second number. The first one is what we found here, target minus nums at index I. In case we've not found anything, this is going to point to the end of the map. Therefore, this is not even going to run, because here what we are saying is if the iterator is not pointing to the end iterator there because we couldn't find the value, then we're going to do this. We get the two values and then we break and exit the loop to optimize performance so that we don't keep searching even though we've already found our two indices. However, if we've not found anything there, then it is going to be equal to m.end, and therefore this if statement is going to evaluate to false and nothing is going to run. If we could not find any value to pair it with the current value from the vector in this iteration, then we are simply going to add nums index I, the current value in our vector. We're going to add it to the map and associate its current index. So that's how it's done. We say whatever value we are at currently has to be a key inside of the map, and its corresponding index has to be the value for that key inside of the map. So once we are done, definitely we're going to find something because they say here there is exactly one solution. So once we are done finding the pairs of values inside of the vector and we found their indices, then first index and second index are going to be updated. And that is what we can return like this, a vector of integers, and we initialize that vector with the two values for the indices corresponding to the two numbers that add up to targets. So now let's run this code here. We've passed the sample test case, so I'm just going to submit right away. And we were faster than 93, almost 94% of all C++ submissions. So that was it for Choose Some, one of the most popular LeetCode challenges on the web. I hope you guys liked it. If it was a bit confusing to you, feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. And if you want more coding interview questions to practice, please subscribe to my channel and I'll catch you next time.